Welcome to Step On to the Phone, and we are with Marie-Claire Giraud today, all the way from New York. Marie-Claire, thank you so much for your time, especially it's Thanksgiving Day today, and you are still finding time for us, so I'm so grateful.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Crystal, for having me. Absolutely.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. It's always a pleasure to see you. And
Thank you.
we met last year. Yeah, I think it was last year in New York.
Last
And
summer.
we've been in contact since. So I'm so glad that we've got a beautiful queen with us today. And she's going to talk a little bit about her work and who she is and share her wisdom of how she becomes such a beautiful queen. So Marie-Claire, tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, where have you always been in New York, what you do in life? Tell us all.
I was born on the island of Dominica in the Caribbean. My mom moved my brother and I to New York when I was 4, so we grew up in the Bronx, New York. I went to high school in Manhattan, college at Brooklyn College, where I studied archaeology. Then I discovered singing, and it just changed my life forever once I touched the mic at this open mic night, and it was like God spoke to me for the first time. Literally, it's like everything went quiet. I didn't see the audience. It's just like I saw this light, and God spoke directly to me, and he said, "You found it." Yes. And I never looked back. I studied opera singing in Italy, in Rome, Italy, and I debuted at Carnegie Hall, and I've sung at many places, the Barclays Center, Madison Square Garden, doing the national anthem, Carnegie Hall, there's tons of places singing opera, jazz. I'm a songwriter as well. I'm a composer. I'm actually working on a one-woman show with another composer next year about my story, Charcoal. It's a fictitious story that I wrote, and we're doing a one-woman show around that.
Amazing.
So that's a little capsule about me.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful, and I knew that's why I wanted you to be here, because I know it's such a, oh, I really admire what you do, so I'm really glad to have you here. So it's all about the queen stepping to the phone that we do this series.
Yes.
What would you say, what's your idea for what is a queen to you? You know, we always say, oh, beautiful queen, and what does it mean to you?
I think a queen definitely has to know her people, definitely has to know the country that she's the queen of, should be very empathetic, sympathetic, intelligent, not only about the country where she rules, but about the world. Able to be a diplomat, because we don't need to wage war all the time. Diplomacy is a very good thing. And to be well versed. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. And is there any specific queens or women from our time that you really admire? Yes. Tell us who she is.
As an archaeologist, there is a queen from ancient, well, she wasn't a, well, yeah, she was a queen. In ancient Egypt, she was the daughter of Yuya and Tuyo, I'm probably pronouncing them wrong. She became the great royal wife of the Egyptian pharaoh Amenhotep III, meaning that she was the mother of Akhenaten and the grandmother of Tutankhamun. And what is great about this woman is that she was not royalty, but she was raised in the royal household, educated in the royal household. Her parents were not royalty, but they held many high positions in the royal household. So I really appreciate that aspect of her, is that she was not royal, but she was able to appreciate both sides of being somewhat a servant, but also being in that atmosphere where she gained all of this knowledge that was taught to her because of where she grew up, because of the jobs that her parents held. Her parents held such prestigious jobs within the royal household that they entitled her to have that royal education, which then caught the eye of the soon-to-be pharaoh, wherein then she became the great wife of a pharaoh. And it's fantastic. And she's hardworking, and she was his right hand. She held equal power to Amenhotep.
That is
He trusted
amazing.
her. He trusted her so much that she was his right hand. She was equal in everything to him.
Mm. That is really beautiful, because I did a talk recently actually about women in pre-colonial Africa, and how
Yes.
women held equal position with their husband. If she was a queen, she would be having the same power as the king. But with the colonialism, we completely lost that idea of equality between the gender.
Yes.
And yeah, I really found, thank you for sharing, because I always
Absolutely.
learn.
Yes, and then it gave, and then of course, she gave birth to Akhenaten, and then Akhenaten married Nefertiti, and then he gave Nefertiti the same right. Nefertiti was equal to him because his mother was equal to his father.
Wow.
So we see, we become what we see. There was no, of course, he was the pharaoh, but in his eyes, his wife was equal to him. And she was his chief advisor.
Right.
He relied on her completely and utterly and trusted her word. Absolutely.
And is there any woman in modern time that really you look up to as a role model?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A woman in modern time.
Or
I would have
maybe
to say,
not so modern, maybe she passed away, but someone you
definitely
looked up.
everybody I love has passed away. So it's like,
Wow, someone who passed away. Let's say it was
I
that.
love, well, the reason why I sing is because of Ella Fitzgerald. I love Ella Fitzgerald. And I appreciate Ella so much because she came around the same time as Billie Holiday. And even though they came up at the same time almost, they had very different stories. Of course, two very great jazz singers, but Billie Holiday, great singer, but very tragic, But with Ella, you never heard that tragedy in her voice. She always sang with this effervescence, with this joy, with it, and being a black woman at that time was anything but joyous. Segregation. It was just horrible. Jim Crow laws. You couldn't eat at the same restaurants. You couldn't sleep in the hotel room. I can't even imagine what it was like. But you never heard that in her music, and I appreciate that.
Right. And in terms of when you are like a young person or a little girl, did you always wanting to be a singer? Did you know that?
Well, the funny thing is that I always sang, and my mother says that I sang before I spoke. So I thought, Crystal, everybody could sing. I thought everybody could sing. Oh, everyone can sing. This is nothing special. But then I found out, no, Marie-Claire, everybody cannot sing.
And do you realize, earlier you talk about power, do you realize your own power? Do you embrace your own power?
I'm becoming more and more aware and comfortable with my own power on a daily basis, and being comfortable with it and living with it and sitting in it and residing in it. And that is, it's not something, I wouldn't say that it's not something that we women, we're not allowed to feel that. Even men are not allowed to feel their own power. So it's a very, it makes you sit straighter. It makes you stand straighter when you realize that not only do you come from kings and queens, but you are a queen yourself, and so that's fabulous.
Yeah, exactly. We are all, and this is why I'm doing this. We are all queens and kings, so we need to embrace, and I wish the younger generation can also embrace their own power, because I've got also a lot to give. I wanted to find out a little bit what has been the challenges you face in your career up until now, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Well, I would say that the challenges that I have had has been very internal. Of course, there are always external challenges, money, contacts, connections, etc. But there has always been inner turmoil and an inner battle within myself because of all of the years of childhood sexual abuse that I experienced. And it wasn't until maybe about a month ago that I really started to address it, address the problem of it. And that is the obstacle that I've had to overcome in reaching success for myself and reaching monetary success, financial success, and feeling that I am worthy of all the good things. I am worthy of it. And that little girl that's inside of me, she is safe, and she doesn't need to worry, and she doesn't need to be afraid. It's okay. And to say that enough to her to let the woman that I am shine through.
Well, my next question was actually about what contributed to your success, and you've already answered that, because you're coming to yourself and embracing in a way your own power and your own history.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing with us. That's such a difficult time, I'm sure, and it's very brave of you for sharing with us. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Crystal.
Well, just one final question, I guess, is what would you advise to the young people out there, young women, or maybe to yourself, a younger self, if you had to give them some advice?
I would say never give up. Never, ever, 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 ever give up on your dream. And listen to that voice in your head. Listen to that person in there. Pray, meditate. There is a higher power above us all. And whoever that person is to you, go to that. It is a stabling force that can be in your life. Study. Nothing comes overnight. Nothing for anybody comes overnight. And the more study and the more training and the more practice you can put into your given craft, the better you will be.
That's an amazing advice. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Before you go, I wonder if you could sing us a little bit of something to do with Step to the Throne. I don't know, just just give us a little bit of your voice, and that's all.
Okay. There's a George Gershwin song called "I'll Build a Stairway to Paradise."
Okay.
Okay. I'll build a stairway to paradise with a new step every day. I'm gonna get there at any price. Stand aside, I'm on my way. I got the blues, and up above is so fair. Shoes, they're gonna carry me there. I'll build a stairway to paradise with a new step every day.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. That
You're
was
welcome.
so amazing. Oh, love it. Thank you so much for coming to Step to the Throne, and thank you for gracing us with your beautifulness and your powerful energy. So thank you, and look forward to see you soon again.
Absolutely, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me.
Come to London.
Yes, as soon as this pandemic COVID stuff is over, I'm there. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.